This is Bass West USA TV. Join us as we redefine the traditional fishing show and travel the nation in search of the hottest techniques, tactics, and big bass locations. Each week, we'll make the pages of our magazine come to life as weekend warriors and top tour pros show you how to catch some donkeys. Because
I am Bass West USA.
I am Bass West USA.
we are Bass West USA TV.
Oh my gosh.
Brought to you by Legend Boats, Dobbins Rides, Bassaholics Clothing, Addicted, Boat Bling, Universal Premium Boat Detailing Products, Bass Tackle Depot, where the pros shop, Power Pole, Shallow Water Anchors.
What's up? I'm Jamie Cyphers, and this is Bass West USA TV. This week, our final week, I join up with our title sponsor, Legend Boats' own Randy Qualls at the Toyota Bass Classic in Conroe, Texas. We hang out, talk boats, and try to catch some very, very tough condition fish. We also take a look at the highlights of Season 1 of Bass West USA TV. In this week's tech tip, FLW pro Jason Cordiali shows us how to add a little bling to your chatterbait. And in this week's Real Perspective, Bass West correspondent Adam Paul catches up with Richard Dobbins from Dobbins Rods and talks a little bit about what it's like following the footsteps of his legendary dad, Gary. And then Jason Quinn gives us a glimpse into the life on the tour with incredible advice on keeping your trailer prepared on this week's Pro Pointer. This is our last show of the year, and I really wanted to go ahead and spend some time in Randy Qualls' home state of Texas. And a lot of people don't know, but you know, Legend Boat is actually a Texas corporation. Even though the boats are manufactured in Mountain Home, Arkansas, the whole history of Legend Boat started in 2002 right here in Texas. You know, Lake Conroe is one of those lakes that probably doesn't get talked about as much as a lot of the other lakes in Texas because, quite frankly, there's so many great lakes in Texas. But it's starting to get a little bit of attention because some of the larger tournaments like the Texas Toyota Bass Classic that's coming down here these days.
This is our second year to sponsor it. It's a very good event, and it's for a very good cause. It raises money for Texas Parks and Wildlife for restocking programs in the state of Texas.
So I was pretty excited. I knew it was a dock lake. I like fishing docks. It's a lot of fun. I'm thinking, you know, crankbaits, you know, running a buzzbait under the docks, maybe flipping a jig or a shaky head. And you know, we show up and it's one of the worst droughts in, you know, a decade or more, 2 decades in Texas, and there's no docks in the water. And I guess for me, maybe being the West Coast, I was a little naive, because when they told me, hey, listen, the water's low, it's 6 to 8 feet, the conditions are gonna be tough, I'm thinking, Lake Mead's 120 feet. We still got plenty of water. Lake Powell's down 60, 70 feet. Not a problem launching, not a problem, plenty of water for the fish to swim in. I learned a little lesson when we got here. 6 to 8 feet on a small impoundment like this, that's typically a shallow fishery anyways, is like 50 feet on a western lake or 100 feet on some lakes. It totally changes the whole dynamics of this lake. And so there's not a lot of cover for the fish. So having never been here, it was really tough. Right in the middle of the city. It's gorgeous, man. Conroe, Texas. I know you and I are kind of talking about the fact that neither one of us have ever been here. And you know, this is only about, what, 3 hours from your house, 2 hours?
Yeah, it's about 2.5 hours, and I've drove a boat here once or twice. Just overall, the lake's down about 8 foot. There's not much cover in the water. The only thing that there is really is a few standing boat stalls that you can get in and flip around in, and maybe in a couple areas a few little rocks or offshore structure, but very little rock. It's more clay banks, and it just really sets up for a very tough bite. Just pull that away from a fish. He didn't ever tug.
It's gonna be a pretty eye-opening experience for these anglers fishing this week. I mean, last year,
Oh, there he is, right there. He just turned it loose again.
Carolina rigging, huh?
Texas bass, right there, buddy.
Well, you said the next one would probably hold on, huh? You
Yeah.
called that pretty well. I'd say you called that pretty well.
Hello, California and the rest of the U.S. There's a Texas bass.
Good looking fish. Good boy.
I am Jason Cordiali, and this is this week's tech tip. I'm gonna add a double diamond paddle tail, little 3-inch optimum swim bait to this chatterbait. All you do is you thread it on. What I always like to do is I take some Zappa glue, which is a super glue, one little drop, secures the bait, and it will always run true. I am Jason Cordiali, and that's this week's tech tip.
At Legend Boats, we have one agenda: to build the finest bass boat on the water. It's our passion. Our hand-laid hulls and zero-tolerance stringer and transom system give you a smooth, dry ride, even in the rough stuff. The Alpha 211 with its massive fishing platform. The Alpha 199, fast and stable. And coming soon, the Alpha 191, a 19-footer with a style, attitude, and a price value all its own. Legend Boats. Catch the wave. Ride with a legend.
Under the lily pads, in a lake near you, live bass happy and free. Until one man with a huge resume and immeasurable experience building the finest rods in the world changed everything. Gary Dobbins offers 3 full lines of tournament-winning rods. The Champion Extreme, Champion, and Savvy series. Dobbins Rods, when fishing is more than a hobby.
Welcome back. Let's catch up with Adam Paul and Richard Dobbins in this week's Real Perspective.
A Real Perspective with me, Captain Adam Paul. On this week's Real Perspective, we're going to catch up with Tom Leogrand as he fishes with Richard and Gary Dobbins on the world-famous Clear Lake.
For today's Bass West USA TV Real Perspective, we have the 2011 FLW Western EverStart Angler of the Year, Richard Dobbins.
That's a Clear Lake bass. Growing up in the shadows of Gary Dobbins, my dad, it was a blessing, honestly. It made me the fisherman I am today, and now I spend more time trying to get out of that shadow.
I can remember him sitting in the back of the boat as a 5-year-old, dragging a split shot behind the back of the boat, setting up, his feet couldn't even touch the deck.
Look at that sucker. Oh, that's a good one.
You know, he'd eat a bag of M&Ms, and he'd come bailing off the back of that chair, and I mean, he'd let the slack go out of that, and he'd set the hook, and he'd reel in a fish.
He taught me there's, no room for error. If you want to be competitive, you want to be on top. He taught me at a young age, like, limit your mistakes. What I pride myself on doing is trying to limit as many mistakes as possible. Fishing with my dad, you gotta keep your eyes on him, because his eyes are definitely not on you. He's hooked me in the ears. I mean, he hooked me in the crotch once with a spinnerbait.
I've never hooked Richard. I did rake his ear one time with a rip bait. Just raked it, just bled a couple of drops, and he thought he was dying. But I mean, that's the only time I ever hooked him.
Winning the 2011 FLW EverStart Western Angler of the Year was the biggest accomplishment I've had in my career so far. I mean, EverStarts are the prestigious circuit out here in the West, and that's what everybody's goal is. I mean, the beginning of the year, everybody wants that title. It's the biggest title that we have out here. It put me on a high that I was on for a long time, and it really gave me recognition of something that I accomplished myself.
Richard's a guy I think can win at any event. I think he can be a winner anytime he's on the water. I know that he's going to be one of the guys that if I'm going to win, that I've got to beat Richard. But I'll tell you what, I'm Richard's biggest cheerleader.
In the future, I'd like to go back east and fish one of the major tours. We have great tournaments out here, but they're not as prestigious of a tournament as the FLW or the Bass Tour. It ain't gonna happen this year. This year I'm gonna stay out here in the West, fish the FLW EverStarts, fish the Angler's Choice Pro-Ams, and just have fun, just like I have in the years past, just have a good time and keep going. There's the tank, dude. There's a Clear Lake bass right there. That's a Clear Lake bass. I wouldn't say this if it was going to be broadcast on TV or nothing, but yeah, I'm the better angler.
I'm Gary Dobbins, and I'm still the best angler in the Dobbins family.
And that was a real perspective with me, Captain Adam Paul.
One of the best things that I can tell you about tips, especially on the road as much as I travel, is the day before I leave to go on a long excursion is I always get my oil changed, and I take the time and I check all the air pressure in all of my tires, even my boat trailer tires. I make sure the hubs have got grease and oil in them. I don't want to have that problem on the road. When I'm ready to hit the road, I want to get to where I'm going.
Today, victory is mine. We shall see. Hey, ho, ha ha. Aha! Victory! Introducing the new Power Pole Blade. See your dealer for the ultimate weapon in boat control. I must have blade.
I got the hottest new bait, bro. An addiction even your wife would approve of. Well, maybe.
You know, it was really great for me to get to come down to southern Texas and fish with Randy Qualls. I had the opportunity to meet Randy Qualls at the U.S. Open of Bass Fishing in 2005, and subsequently bought a Legend boat, got involved with Legend Boats as a pro staffer, and eventually the Western rep, and even for a period of time as the national sales manager. So I've known Randy on a personal level for a number of years, and we've competed against each other. We've got to fish a few times in the western United States together, but I've never got to fish with him in his home state of Texas.
Whenever I bought my boat, several of the boats I bought, the bottoms weren't quite right on them, and I would sand and, you know, change the bottom structure of the boat to get them to run faster, ride a little different, and just do a few things like that. And then I had a chance to get into the boat business, you know, about 10 years ago. And I took the opportunity and got in over my head at first. And it took me a couple of years to really figure out all the angles of it because there's so many different things. But then we got it kind of dialed in, fine-tuned our boat. And really the overall deal was I felt like I could build a better boat than I could actually buy.
So it was a pretty exciting deal for me to get to come down here and just get in the boat and spend a little time with a friend, but also somebody I have a tremendous amount of respect for, and maybe shed a little bit of light to everybody about why Legend Boats are such an incredible product and the man behind Legend Boats. What's it been, about 9 years now since you started Legend Boats?
Yeah, a little over 9 years. But, you know, time has evolved and our product keeps getting better. Our people are as good as you can get in the industry. We're in the right area, you know, and just every year the industry seems to consolidate a little bit and get a little bit smaller. And the price of the product keeps going up, but the quality doesn't go up from the larger guys, it doesn't seem like. And being small and custom, we can really cater to our customers, their needs, their wants, and spend a lot more time focusing on their product.
And I had a lot of belief when I met you in 2005 in you and Dean Smith and your vision and your commitment to the sport and just your passion for the sport, a lot like me. And at that time the product was the LE series, and it was a good product.
Right.
Over the years, I can honestly say that I think Legend Boats, without a doubt, is the best built boat on the market, hands down. And I probably get a little cocky sometimes about saying that, but you know, it's true, because I mean, every attention to detail has just evolved. And there's such a commitment from you guys to just constantly perfect the boats and make them better. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, not being a real large corporation, it's real easy for us to go out and fine-tune our product real fast. We have a 24-hour hotline. As far as I know, we're the only manufacturer in the industry. You can call us 2 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning, and you'll get a real-life person answering the phone. And if you have a problem and you're out on the water, they'll track somebody down.
You got one? You got one?
Feisty little guy.
Like he was way up there shallow again, huh?
Oh yeah, they're up there in 2 or 3 foot of water.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. See you later, baby.
This week's Viewer Video Vault.
Paul Streggy scoring a nice one in the snow.
Got one here. This is a toad. Beautiful. Big belly. Nice long fish. He's obviously fattening up for the winter.
We got Justin Rackley catching a nice fish on a flutter spoon.
Go to BassWest.com and click on the Facebook icon to upload your videos and win a $1,000 Bass Tackle Depot gift card.
Locate Boat Bling Pro, Michael Murphy. FLW and BASS pros use Boat Bling as the ultimate weapon to combat hard water spots.
Simple. One step.
Top secret, information encoded.
Boat Bling, universal premium detailing products for anything in front of or behind your hitch. It's out of this world.
Boat Bling, developed by boaters, refined for you.
Why did they consistently win? Why did they know about all the latest and greatest baits? BassTackleDepot.com, of course. BassTackleDepot.com is your Bama rig headquarters, in stock and shipping daily. With over 100 different manufacturers, including Dobbins Rods, Bassaholics Clothing, Boat Bling Cleaning Products, Black Dog, Pepper Baits, Gene LaRue, Jack Allure Company, McCoy Line, not to mention a talented staff of hardcore anglers, ready to assist your every need. It's no wonder that BassTackleDepot.com is where the pros shop.
I love Texas. I love coming here. Love the people, love the food, love the fishing. And all year, you know, we've gone through rainstorms. We've had snowstorms in the mountains of California. We've had hailstorms, lightning, just so much water to deal with all year. Water hasn't been a problem. Now in the last show of the year, we come to Texas and it ends up being the exact opposite. And if they don't get some rain soon, people are going to be driving four-wheelers in the bottom of this lake.
Well, it seems a little tough to me as far as the bite goes, but what I found that they would eat a little bit was the Carolina rig Zoom brush hog. Oh yeah, they're up there in 2 or 3 foot of water. See you later, baby.
You know, our first show of the year, we went to Bullard's Bar. We get up on the water and we get some monster spots. And we battled. We were cold, we were soaked, but we got some great fishing and it was just an incredible experience.
This is nuts.
Then our next trip, we went to Northern California again, and we went to Clear Lake, California. And again, Mother Nature decides to give us the biggest snowstorm in over a decade. But we fished with Tommy Cardoza in 43 to 45 degrees of water and catch 5 quality fish that probably went 26, 27 pounds on big swim baits. That was absolutely a blast to go out and do that. And our next stop was Lake Powell, Arizona. My home lake, my favorite lake on earth. And we get there, and what do you know happens? We get snow there again and 70-mile-an-hour winds. We get on the water and we end up fishing with a young kid named Danny DeVries who puts us on a great show and some great footage and the scenery was beautiful and it was just, I think for anybody watching the show, that was absolutely amazing.
Man, that's LP style right there, Lake
That's how we do it, baby.
Then we turn around with Lisa Craig, another top WBT angler, and we go out and we do an entire show on fishing roadbeds and submerged bridges. Again, we get another incredible show. And then, of course, Ray Roberts with Danny Golden. Toads, top waters, a little bit of drop shotting. Just had an amazing time there with Danny. Danny did such a great job. Eastern Texas, Lake Fork, Lake Ray Roberts, amazing. What can you say? We wanted to learn about flutter spoons. I think the entire nation wants to learn about flutter spoons. Anybody that watched that show got one heck of an education from Judith Hart.
Just get on with it and get down under them.
So after that, we went to Lake Havasu, Arizona. Another incredible fishery. And the time we hit it was actually right after the spawn. But we go out with one of the best anglers in the western United States, Sean Bailey, and it's his home lake. We actually found some fish on beds and made the show that way. So we adapted, just like you have to do in a tournament, just like you have to do if you want to go out and make the best of your hard-earned money in the day you get to spend on the water with your family. Ended up being another great show. Everything's falling together. The season's looking amazing. So we head back to Southern California. And while we're down there, we hook up with 3-time U.S. Open champion Mike Folkstead. get an amazing show on Diamond Valley to where we're whacking fish on wacky worms, drop shotting, and really get a lesson on deep water finesse fishing and why this guy has won close to $2 million in his career. We turn around and we head to Lake Isabella with Mike Stiles, and Dobbins Pro Mike Stiles puts us on the most insane fishing of the year. It was something I'll never forget. I mean, those type of fish on top water, I've never caught them, and it was one of those days where the entire show was done in 3 hours.
The chunk's a solid 3.
So while we're in Central California, we had a day off, and you'd think we'd just go relax, but the phone rings and we get an invitation to go to Tejon Ranch, and so we go up there and we start fishing with my dad. So we go, what the heck, let's film another show here. Let's do a frog show. So that was really a great day. So now we got another day and we're heading to Pyramid Lake, but I called Bill Seamantel and say, Bill, do you want to go to your home lake of Pyramid because you're telling me it's a little tough, or do you want to drive a little further and go to Lake Isabella because we had a pretty awesome time the other day. We go up there and we absolutely massacre them again. And we walked off the water that day going, 5 fish, 35 pounds, good day to have on camera. So as we kind of finish off the year, we decide, heck, let's come back to Texas and finish up. Jason Cordiali, who's a legend pro that fishes on the FLW Tour, he's just coming out of Guntersville from a tour event, heading home. So we go to Lake Livingston and we end up having a great show with Jason Cordiali. And then of course throughout the year we had our sub-segment, which is our Real Perspective with Captain Adam Paul. And Adam bounced from coast to coast as well. You can go out to the greatest fisheries in the entire United States day in, day out, but most of those lakes have more bad days than they have great days. So, you know, that's just the reality of fishing, and you got to try to adapt if you really want to be good, if you really want to take the time like we do to where we come in, we have one day to get this done, and we just take our hits. If we catch them, we catch them. Some days we catch 10-pounders. Other days we go out and we catch 3 or 4, you know, keeper fish and a few shorts, and you know, that's just fishing. We're about the real deal, the reality of fishing. We're talking about going to public access lakes where anybody in the United States watching this show can get on the water, enjoy, learn from what we're doing, learn from our mistakes and even our tough days, but get out there and enjoy the passion that we enjoy. But if you watch the show, you'll get the passion, you'll get the excitement, you'll know why we drive all over the country to chase this, and you know, it's just been a great year.
Little Jackal Muscle 15 right in this boat slip. This is really a cool crankbait, I think, for these deep dive. I mean, the DD22, what can you say about it? It's just a great bait, always has been proven. But as far as one of the really cool new baits, it's a little smaller profile and really gets down deep, is this Muscle series from Jackal. This is a really neat bait. God,
yeah, it wasn't
I
really.
just got drilled. No, he ripped it right out of my hand, right all the way out here.
Throw it up there again, dude.
Oh, God, gosh. That time I just went parallel out there and put it down, and I literally got down, and it's only, you know, it's only 8 feet deep. When I stopped it, it just pulled it back. That's all right, I'll get one right here.
You're crying over spilt beer.
Come on, baby, get up here. Oh. It works because nobody does it. Oh, how clutch is that? This is a little guy, man, but.
Now, was that worth giving up your cold Budweiser for?
That was definitely worth giving up a cold beer for. Randy just bet me. We looked at that dock coming in, and I said, man, you gotta stop and let me throw this crankbait in there. And he goes, I got a choice for you. I got a cold Bud Light in the truck, or you can cast in there. And I said, well, I'm gonna cast in there.
Yeah, he said, I'll pass. I'd rather make a few casts in the docks. And sure enough, he caught one.
He said, well, great, when everybody else has a cold Bud Light. Oh, Cameo, you can pass, but you can catch a fish. So it only took 2 casts, right, Randy?
Yeah.
It cost me a beer, but hey, I finally got a fish right there, right? If I get another one, can I have my beer back?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough?
Yeah, absolutely.
Make that trade any day of the week, huh?
I'm Jamie Cyphers, and that was Bass West USA TV.
Oftentimes I try to believe you, but still inside I can see.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Bass West USA TV. Join us each and every week as we bring you the first and final word on bass fishing.
Brought to you by Legend Boats, Dobbins Rods, Bassaholics Clothing, Addicted, Boat Bling, Universal Premium Boat Detailing Products, Bass Tackle Depot, where the pros shop, Power Pole, Shallow Water Anchors. Subscribe to Bass West USA Magazine online at basswest.com. please go to BassTackleDepot.com or call 1-800-591-7171 to find products used in today's show.
Satchmo Dog Productions. Roo roo.